Losing this would be a serious blow to babies who have suffered a traumatic brain injury at birth like HIE. So you may be saying, okay, well, Marcus, what are you getting at? What are you talking about? Well, I was on this app and I was scrolling through some videos, and a video of another attorney showed up on my page. And as I was watching the video, they were talking about potential changes to legislation that was coming in their state. And that legislation was going to deal with things like insurance costs. It was going to deal with certain types of insurance claims. It was going to deal with attorney's fees. It was going to deal with caps. And when I went through the video and I was looking through the comments, I saw something really interesting. One of the comments stood out because it said, well, if we just get rid of the contingency fee agreement, that's where all the problem is. The contingency fee agreement, if we get rid of it, then it's going to lower medical costs. And they were going on and on and on why the contingency fee agreement was just going to help the public. Well, in this video today, I'm going to help you understand why that is a disastrous idea for the millions of injured people across this country. In general, a contingency fee agreement in its basics, in its basic sense, is an agreement between a client and an attorney for the attorney to be able to put up the cost first to be able to prosecute this case on behalf of the injured person. So they'll put up the cost and they will recover their costs at the end of everything, and they will get their legal fee at the end of the case. And this is either if the case settles or if the case if a jury verdict is reached and that jury verdict is in their favor. The issue of cost, that's something that can change from state to state, and that's for another video. But just basically, the agreement is for the attorney to put up the money to be able to prosecute this case for the injured person. Specifically, when it comes to birth injury and birth trauma cases, these cases are some of the most expensive cost-wise that you can do. And that is because you need medical experts to be able to be successful with these cases. In other words, I have to pay these doctors for their time. I have to pay them for their reports. And sometimes when I deal with these doctors and I speak with them, sometimes they don't even support the case. But I still had to pay them for their work. So for birth injury and birth trauma cases, the cost can be sky high. In some instances, you will spend $100,000, $200,000, and in really complex cases, close to $300,000, depending on the severity of the injury. Now, I don't know too many families that can put up this type of money to be able to go against a hospital or these doctors and these medical professionals if these people have caused the injury or the harm to their baby. And if they have done that, then it's only right for the doctors and the nurses in the hospitals for them to be held responsible. If you get rid of the contingency fee agreement, then these babies, a lot of these families, they will not be able to have access to the courtroom. They will not be able to have access to be able to get money to pay for their baby's needs moving into the future. So if we get rid of the contingency fee agreement, like I said earlier, a lot of people will be impacted. And what it would do is it will allow these big corporations and these big multi-million dollars, and in some instances, multi-billion dollar industries to be able to just plow straight through injured people, and they will not have any type of, they will not be worried about any type of legal remedies because they know that at the end of the day, the people who they're injured, they really don't have access to the court system because they can't pay the cost to be able to prosecute these types of cases. I know that I've talked about a lot in this video, and you may be watching because you have questions. Maybe your baby has suffered a traumatic brain injury at birth like HIE, hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy, and you have questions as to what caused the injury. Or maybe you have an HIE injury and a subsequent CP diagnosis, and you've got questions. Well, there's a telephone number down below on the screen. I invite you to go ahead and pick up your phone and call me. Talk with me in my office about this. This is what we do. Before I get out of here, I want to remind you that if you call, be sure to pick a date and a time that's important. When you get on my calendar, to be able to get on my calendar, I should say, pick a date and a time, and make sure when you talk to my secretary that you also have a working email address. That's important too, because I may need to be able to get in contact with you through email. Before I leave, I know I said that before, but the last thing, I practice law here in the state of Maryland, and I know from time to time, because this video is on the internet, it's on our website, it's on certain apps, I can't control who is going to reach out and contact me. I have individuals who will contact me. They're in the United States, but they may not be in Maryland. If that's you, just understand that we have to use what we call co-counsel or local counsel. In other words, an attorney in your state. And that's something that we can look to work to help you with. But I just want to make sure that you understand that co-counsel or that local counsel aspect of things if you're not here in Maryland. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorneys practicing law here in the state of Maryland at Boston Law Group, LLC. We'll talk with you next time. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.